Hello and Assalamu alaikum. I'm Marwa Mahkum Sheikh. Welcome to Narramus. Let me start with a simple question. Are trade routes just about cargo? The answer is no. They are arteries of power, the lifelines of peace and the survival kit of war. And today, three corridors dominate the conversation: the Suez Canal, the economic land bridge, and the still hypothetical India-Middle East-Europe corridor called IMEC. So which one really matters? Let's find out. First, why is the Suez Canal called indispensable? Because Suez is the original artery. Nearly 12% of the world's trade, oil, containers, food, passes through its 193-kilometer stretch. It's smooth, continuous, and maritime. Cargo loaded in Asia can reach Europe without ever leaving the ship. But here's the catch. It's fragile. Remember the Ever Given in 2021? One stuck ship and global trade froze. Add the threats of drones, missiles, or blockades in the Red Sea, and suddenly everyone realizes how vulnerable the world really is. That's why the hunt for backups never ends. So what about the economic corridor? Is it just talk, or does it really exist? It exists. This is the land bridge that goes back to the old RCD days of the 1960s. Today, under the economic banner, it links Karachi and Gwadar through Iran, across Türkiye, and into Europe. Trucks and even trains already use it. Once cargo is loaded, it moves continuously over land. No switching from sea to rail and back to sea. That's its beauty. But if it's so practical, why don't we see it on the news every day? Because politics gets in the way. Iran is sanctioned. Borders are inefficient. Rail upgrades are slow. The corridor works, but it's underutilized. Still, in wartime, economic corridor becomes the most credible non-maritime option. Even Washington strategists admit, though grudgingly, that they might one day need the very corridor that passes through Iran. Geography cannot be sanctioned. And then comes IMEC. What's the big story there? IMEC was announced at the G20 in 2023 with grand hype. On paper, it's bold. India to UAE by sea, Saudi by rail, across Jordan and Israel, then the Haifa port, and back onto the sea into Europe. Sounds futuristic, doesn't it? But here's the problem. Logistics hates interruptions. Every switch from ship to rail to ship again means delays, customs checks, security risks, and higher costs. And beyond that, it depends on fragile politics. Arab-Israel normalization, billion-dollar investments, and secure rail grids across volatile zones. So what is IMEC really? It's more geopolitics than shipping. It keeps India anchored in Gulf politics, reassures the West that there's an alternative to China's Belt and Road, and gives the GCC a shiny new brand. But until tracks are laid and peace is stable, IMEC is more PowerPoint than pipeline. Now the critical question. In case of a war with China in the Pacific, would the US need all three? Absolutely. That's the logic of redundancy. No general puts all supply lines in one basket. Suez remains the bulk lifeline, defended at all costs. The economic corridor serves as the land fallback, politically messy but militarily rational. IMEC may play niche roles, moving high-value cargo if politics allows. Together, they form a fragile but necessary triangle of resilience. And regionally, who gains what? Pakistan gains leverage if it secures the economic corridor and keeps Gwadar and Karachi reliable. Iran automatically becomes more important just by sitting on the corridor. Türkiye transforms into Europe's gateway. The GCC markets IMEC as their brand. India gains political mileage either way. And Egypt will defend Suez like its very survival depends on it, because it does. So what's the bottom line? Suez is indispensable, the economic corridor is real but underused, IMEC is aspirational. These corridors are not just lines on a map, they are weapons of strategy. In peace, they promise prosperity. In war, they decide survival. That, my friends, is the one strategic question before us. Can the world rely on three corridors at once, or will politics, arrogance, and choke points decide the fate of trade? What are your views on the topic? Drop them in the comments below and be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Allah Hafiz.